Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sapna Dadwal. I'm working as a professor in the Department of Management at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This is Lecture 8 of Organizational Behavior of Unit 2. The topic I'm going to cover in this lecture are motivation. I'm going to discuss the whole topic of motivation. Under motivation, I'm going to discuss definition, significance of motivation, process of motivation, nature of motivation, theories of motivation, then motivational techniques, how people can be motivated. I'm going to discuss here. Now I'm starting with the first topic, that is definition of motivation. The term motivation has been derived from the word motive. Motive may be defined as derives or impulses within an individual. It implies within a person which prompts him into actions. So motivation may be defined as the complex of forces inspiring a person at work to willingly use his capabilities for the accomplishment of certain objectives. It is something that implies a person into, or it moves a person into action. Now, characteristics of motivation. It is personal and internal feeling. It is psychological phenomenon that arises in the mind of an individual when his needs and wants are satisfied. Second is, it is a continuous process. So one need is satisfied, the other is crop up. So it is a continuous process. You need to have motivation continuously. Then third is, human needs are interrelated and influence human behavior different ways. Then motivation causes goal-directed behavior. Now, significance of motivation. The first is high efficiency. It is just because of motivation the people are able to achieve high efficiency in their work. Without motivation, efficiency cannot be achieved. As the name itself says, motivation drives people to act towards the goal. So motivation leads to high efficiency in the high efficiency by the people. Then better image. Where employees are motivated, or for example, there are two organizations, A and B. In A organization, all the people are motivated, whereas in the organization B, people are not at all motivated, they are demotivated, their performance is very low. So it is very clear the image of the organization A will be better in the eyes of the people. People will always like to work in organization A where all the people are motivated. Then third is facilitate change. So motivation always facilitate change. People who are motivated, they welcome change, or they facilitate change, or they doesn't resist change in the organization. They are always ready for the new things to adapt. Unlike unmotivated people, change is always resisted by the unmotivated people. Then next significance of the motivation is human relations. Motivated employees will always have better human relations, or motivated employees will have always better relations with everyone, because their motivation is directly related to attitudes. If there is positive attitude, it means people are motivated. So motivated people will always try to have a cordial relationship with everyone around them. Now the next topic is process of motivation. Motivation is the result of an interaction between human needs and incentives. The following is the process of motivation. The first one is awareness of need. Awareness of unsatisfied need creates a tension in the minds of a person. Awareness of need, if that need is not satisfied, he lacks something. The need of lacking something is awareness of need. Now, second is search of action. So, in order to relieve his tension, in order to fulfill that lackness of something, a person, to satisfy his need, the person looks for suitable actions. He develop a certain goals and make an attempt to achieve those goals, so that he can complete or he can fulfill that lackness of something. Then third is fulfillment of need. In case of individual is successful in attempting his need or in fulfilling his need, then his need is satisfied. Then he feels complete again. Then fourth is discovery of new need. It is a human nature. Once one need is fulfilled, some other need will emerge. Then this process again will start. So this process of motivation will again start. It is a continuous process. That is why motivation is a continuous process. Now the next topic is nature of motivation. Motivation is based on individual motives which are internal to individuals. Then motivation is affected the way individual is motivated. So motivation is affected by the way individual is motivated. Then motivation leads to goal directed behavior. Then motivation is related to satisfaction. A person is motivated in totality. Then motivation is complex process. Complexity emerges because of the nature of need and the type of behavior is attempted to satisfy that need. So it is a complex process. Now the next topic is types of needs. The needs may be grouped into three categories. First was primary, secondary and general needs. There are three categories of needs. Primary needs are also known as physiological need or basic needs. Primary needs are essential for the survival. These are common for all human beings, though their intensity may differ. So intensity of the primary needs differ in different persons. Some of the primary needs are need for food, need for sleep, need for air, need for water, etc. Now comes secondary need. These needs are not natural but are learned by the individuals through experience and interaction. These are also called as learned need or drive needs. Need for power, need for affection, need for status, need for affiliation are the examples of secondary needs. Now third comes general needs. There are number of needs which lie in the gray area between primary and secondary. They can neither be put in primary needs or they can neither be put in secondary needs. So these are called as general needs. Examples of these needs is competence, curiosity, manipulation, etc. Now, role of motivation. Motivated employees put higher performer as compared to others. Then, so motivation plays a very important role in an organization, because if the employees are motivated, then they will always give better performance than unmotivated employees. Then comes second role is motivated employees stay in the organization and their absenteeism is quite low. It's very clear from this. Then third is motivated employee accept change in the organization's rules, policy, technologies much easier than others. They don't resist change. Instead, they welcome change and they cope with change very easily. They accept change very easily. The next topic is theories of motivation. There are two types of theories, content and process. Under content, there are Maslow's need hierarchy theory, Herzberg two-factor theory. Under process, McGregor's theory of X and Y, then Vroom's theory. I'm starting with Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Abraham H. Maslow is an eminent American psychologist who developed a general theory of motivation known as need hierarchy theory. So this is the diagram of need exemplar. According to Abraham Maslow, there are five needs are there, and there is this hierarchy of these needs are there, shown in the diagram. First, on the top let it comes physiological need, then safety needs, then social need, then esteem need, then self-actualization need. I'm starting with physiological needs. These are primary needs which are necessary for the survival of the human being and comes on the top priority. Physiological needs, we have already discussed earlier. The need for food, sleep, water, air are called as physiological needs, primary needs or basic needs. Then comes second, safety needs. Once physiological needs are established or satisfied to a reasonable level, the other level becomes important. This level is of safety need. This need is called as safety need. Safety need is of being free of danger, free of physical danger. And in an organization, people wants to have job security. They want to have job security. They want to feel safe in their jobs. Then comes social need. After the first two needs are satisfied, the social need becomes important. This is a need for belongingness, and human wants to be accepted by various groups. When social needs become dominant, a person strives for meaningful relations. At social needs, humans wants to be accepted by different groups. That is where they join different clubs, different other groups, because they want to fulfill this need of belongingness. Then comes fourth, esteem need. The esteem needs are concerned with self-respect, self-confidence, a feeling of personal worth, a feeling of being unique and recognized by others. Then comes self-actualization. This is the need to maximize one's potential. This is related to development of increasing capabilities. Now the second theory, Herzberg's two-factor theory. According to Herzberg, there are two factors: maintenance factor and motivating factors. According to whom, maintenance factors are necessary to maintain a reasonable level of satisfaction, but their absence will always dissatisfy people, whereas motivating factors will always motivate people. So as per Herzberg, any decrease in the maintenance factor will cause dissatisfaction, whereas any decrease in motivating factors will not cause dissatisfaction in employees. Maintenance factors are company policy and administration, technical supervision, salary, job security, personal life, working conditions, status, whereas motivating factors are achievement, recognition, advancement, work itself, responsibility. So it is very clear that maintenance factors up to certain level will always up to reasonable will motivate people, but after reasonable level they will not motivate people, but their decrease in will dissatisfy people, whereas motivating factors will always motivate people and their decrease will not dissatisfy employees in the organization. Now comes McGregor's theory X and theory Y. Theory X. Theory X is the traditional theory of human behavior. The assumption of this theory are the average man by nature will work as little as possible. He lacks ambition, dislike responsibilities, prefers to be led. He is inherently self-centered, indifferent to organizational needs. He is by nature resistant to change. He is gullible, not very bright. Without the active participation of management, a man or average man would be passive, or people will be passive. So they must be persuaded, rewarded, punished, and controlled. So management must direct people behavior to fit the needs of the organization. So this is theory X as per McGregor's. Now theory Y. Theory Y is the opposite of theory X. The assumptions of theory Y are the average human being doesn't inherently dislike work. Average human exercise self-direction, self-control in the service of objectives to which he is committed. The average human being learns under proper conditions not only to accept but to seek responsibility. Avoidance of responsibility, lack of ambitions are not inherent human characteristics. So the average human being is bright and have relatively high degree of imagination and intellectual potentials. The next is motivational techniques. The following are motivational techniques. The first one is reward system. Reward is anything which is given in return of good performance. Rewards may be monetary and non-monetary. Monetary means financial reward, whereas non-monetary means non-financial reward. Reward will always motivate people. Reward is one of the important technique to motivate people. Then the second technique is empowerment. Empower is the process that provides greater autonomy through the sharing of relevant information and the provision of control over factors affecting job performance. So, empowering employees will always motivate them. Empowering employees will motivate people to excel in their work. Then third is quality of life. Quality of work life aims at integrating the socio-psychological needs of people in the organization. It is thus concerned with overall climate of work. If the overall climate of the work is good and friendly and cordial, then it will always motivate people. If the climate is tensed or climate is not good, then it will demotivate employees. Now, the next one is job satisfaction. It is the mental feeling of favorableness which an individual has about his job. Well, so job satisfaction is one of the important technique of motivation. If people are satisfied with their job, they will always feel motivated to work in the organization. If people are dissatisfied with the job, they'll always feel demotivated. There comes morale. Morale is the feeling of an employee towards his work. It is related to job satisfaction. Morale and job satisfaction both are interrelated to each other. If a person has a job satisfaction, his performance will be high, and if rewarded properly will cause high morale. High morale people are always feel motivated to do or to perform high. Now these are the techniques, motivational techniques. Now these are the questions which are related to the above discussed topic. If any queries there, please do contact me. Please excuse me for the mistakes. And excuse me for the clarity of slides also. Thank you so much.